Ever since the Toledo Mud Hens moved from Ned Skeldon Stadium to downtown, what should happen to the stadium and the rec center itself? There are those who would like to see it replaced with housing, while others hope it can become or continue to be a place for kids of all ages. On a crisp fall afternoon in Maumee, the boys of summer try to squeeze one more day for Mother Nature. Not everyone on the field is a kid. There is one who is still a kid at heart.
Nice play, nice play.
I'm 75 now. I'm lucky I'm still throwing batting practice, you know.
75 and still bringing it. To the youth, Coach Tom is their batting practice pitcher.
That's not the ball you want to drive, right?
And their infield hitter.
Right back here, Ost.
But to their grandparents, they may know him as Tom Matchick, former Detroit Tiger and member of that 1968 World Series championship team.
I'm sitting on a bench one day, me and Comer and Dick Trzezinski, and Gator's by me, and I said, Gator, did you graduate from high school? And he looks at me and he says, yeah, Match, why? I said, well, what did you take in high school? He said, well, I took some history, some math, some wheel covers, hubcaps, stereos. But that's the type of team we had.
But before Matchick made it in Detroit, he started out here in Toledo. Just over that outfield wall, in fact, the back of the scoreboard still visible in blue at Ned Skeldon Stadium.
My first thoughts were I met my wife here.
Really?
In 1967, yeah, we just celebrated our 51st anniversary.
Congratulations.
And this stadium brought my wife to me.
In 1967, Lucas County Stadium, as it was then known, was only in its third year as a baseball facility since transforming from a harness racing track. Matchick was named an International League All-Star that year, but was called up to Detroit before the Hens could win the Governor's Cup. But he'll never forget his time in Toledo.
3 home runs I hit in one game against Richmond.
So it's a good memory.
Good memory.
There's another former Hen with great memories of this ballpark.
Stan Clark, pitcher, Toledo Mud Hens, 1988.
While Matchick stayed in Toledo after his playing days, Clark is a native Toledoan.
The first thing that always come to my mind, and matter of fact, as of a couple years ago, I was still playing Roy Hobbs out here, but I've never stepped on this field without looking up to these bleachers right over here. The first time I ever came out here with my dad and my uncle, I believe I was 11 or 12 years old, and to watch a Mud Hens game, and it was just a thrill of a lifetime, and that's always one of my fondest memories of this park.
Clark would graduate from Woodward and pitch for the University of Toledo before he became a Mud Hen.
The first few games, the big dilemma was, and thank God for Gene Cook, God rest his soul, what a great guy. Gene, I need 100 tickets. Stan, you tell whoever's coming, you tell them, we'll get them in.
Lucas County Stadium, and Ned Skeldon Stadium as it would later be called, was home to minor league baseball for nearly 4 decades. The Mud Hens moved downtown after the 2001 season. Since that time, high school, college, and adult leagues have all stepped up to the plate, but no permanent resident has moved in. And over time, the structure is showing its age. But the talk of tearing down this piece of Toledo history has been met with disappointment by those who once called it home.
Disgusting. It's something that shouldn't be done. I don't know what it would run to fix up the stands and that stuff, but it's something that shouldn't be gone.
It's sad to think that way. God knows I wish I had the money to pump into it. I know that the bleachers are in bad shape and certainly would cost a lot of money to revamp that whole thing, but it's been here since before I was born, and I hope it's here long after I'm gone.
But it's not just the stadium that has local baseball lovers concerned, it's the land throughout the fairgrounds. On those baseball fields where Tom Matchick lends his time to the next generation of stars.
Every time up here, I want you to picture bases loaded, 1 out.
Well, those kids have to have somewhere to play.
Al Seeger is the general manager of Line Drive Sports.
And we're not out here for us. Our day in the sun's been there. But these kids, if they can't play ball out here, what are they going to do?
They take care of the baseball, softball, and football fields, along with the handball and tennis courts, and one of the rec halls adjacent to Skeldon.
We put in the real good turf. The same company that put the turf in the last 3 Super Bowls put the turf in down at our hall. And now in January and February and March, when it's 10 degrees outside, the kids are down there playing ball. We're probably the one place, other than hospitals and that I can truthfully say there's somebody here using this complex 365 days a year.
And as you may expect with a complex that size, it comes with a cost. Seeger and his partners feel they've done just about all they can, as Line Drive is a nonprofit organization.
You know, we get the county. The county's done all that they can, but we understand they're like a lot of government entities, a lot of schools, and they don't have a whole lot of money. We understand that. Sure. We've been here 9 years now. We've pretty much carried the load on our own. Sure. And what we're saying is, realistically, as a small company, you know, we're tapped out, and we're just asking for some assistance from somebody to help us keep this going, because we think, how do you put a price tag on a kid? If the kid's not playing ball or doing something out here, even playing tennis or whatever, then what are they doing? They might be getting in trouble. And that's the problem. And the other thing that I've added to that equation, I've told people, you know, if you're in a business and you're making widgets and at the end of the day you're not making enough money, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know where you got to up your price a little bit. Well, but what do? When I got a guy comes out here and he's got a team of little 8-year-olds and he's got 12, 14 kids on that team and they want to play ball out here, I can't say, well, it's going to cost you $6,000 to play ball out here. That's not going to work either. So we're limited to what we can do to cover our expenses. We're not going to kick that team out on the street. We're not going to say we can't play here anymore. We absorb that. And I think those are things that sometimes go unnoticed. It's not for us. There's nobody out here. We're not getting rich off this. It's for the kids. We enjoy doing what we do.
Down the line.
And so does Tom Matchuk, giving back to kids, just a home run blast from where he started with the Hens. His hope is he can continue to do that. His fear is the complex, the stadium, and the fields might one day be raised in favor of new housing.
And if this was wiped out and these kids didn't have a place to play, I mean, that would be, in your opinion, what?
A sad day. A very sad day for Lucas County.
Move it. Get your feet moving.
A couple of postscripts to this story. While Line Drive Sports handles the maintenance and upkeep of much of the rec center, there are other entities involved. Toledo Volleyball Club occupies the other rec hall. The Lucas County Fair Board leases the fairgrounds, and an organization called Mamba, which is adult baseball, leases Skeldon Stadium. According to Lucas County Commissioner Pete Gherkin, as of Election Day, there are no definitive plans for the facility going forward just yet. Line Drive hopes with some funding, they could be a part of those plans for a long time to come.